Hello and welcome to this episode of the Lyle podcast. I am very excited. It'll be just me. I'm your host, Elle, and what we explore here on the Lyle podcast is how do you live your healthiest life? How do you, Lyle, live your healthiest life? That's my passion, my obsession. It's what healing the world is my calling, and my avenue into healing. And I probably have known myself as a healer with that label and felt comfortable with that, or explored even using that in reference to myself for maybe 7 years. And it wasn't really till I was exposed to somebody, a physician, that showed me, oh, this is a way that I can be in the world. This is a way that I can approach my work. And this is year 19, so if we do a little bit of math, 19 months, I'd already been practicing as a PT for physical therapist for 12 years at that point. And it's different. I was always somebody that really gave myself to my patients and was passionate about my work. I, for a long time, was a square peg in a round hole of me as a healer, trying to fit into the round hole of healthcare, of physical therapy. And that led me to starting my own practice. And that's leading me now into this new iteration of my work, which is more expansive, which is things like this podcast, which is the multiple newsletters that I have. I currently have 3. Today, I haven't talked about this a lot on the podcast. I'm actually going to go into my PT know-how and share that with you. And but this next transition in my life I've always wanted to prevent suffering, and then I've just grown tired of, there's a sadness, there's a grief that I feel when a patient comes in and they've been having pain for multiple years. I just contacted somebody referred to me from her husband, who had been seeing me in the past year, and she's been having issues seeing other therapists 2 years, and it just makes me sad. And so I have many thoughts, and I'm excited to launch into this right now. And the portion that I want to focus on, because this is a lifetime's work, it's my lifetime's work, and it's something that I hope to help you, and by as proxy for like the whole world. I want the whole world to experience less suffering of physical pain. And so today, I want to introduce to you the Pain Pendulum. And this is a concept that's emerged from my nearly 2 decades involved in healing people in their physical pain and movement dysfunction. And what I'd like you to envision is, and I'll offer this up on YouTube here, okay, the Pain Pendulum. So I want you to envision a pendulum, so just, like a weighted ball swinging back and forth, okay? And on one side, and the ball in this image is our behavior. And on one side is our emotions, and on the other side is our thoughts and beliefs. And emotions are impacted for all sorts of things. They're impacted by our history, our upbringing, trauma, other stresses in our bodies, our experiences. Thoughts and beliefs are handed to us by culture. They come out of our own trying to make sense of the world that we live in. They come from education that we're given. So if we're talking about the body, with those, so thoughts and beliefs on that one side might be things like, my body is broken, or I have a weak back, or I have weak ankles, or I'm clumsy, or, well, my mom's has a bunion, so I'm going to have a bunion. Or if I'm running well, it means I'm running marathons. If I'm lifting weights, it means that I'm always getting PRs, I'm getting personal records. If I'm climbing, it means that I'm just always doing something harder, like that there's always has to be this push, push, push. And that's something I've identified in our culture, is that we're pushed to, this happens in our work life, relationships, just these extremes. We really, really praise the extremes. Like, think of our athletes, think of our Olympians, and we try to model that in our own way. So sometimes we identify that and sometimes we don't. So these with the, oh, I'm like that, I'm an athlete, and then sometimes we're like, I'm not an athlete. And this shapes our behavior, like how we actually use our body in the world. So the behavior on that pendulum, the ball is that behavior. And so it's influenced by these thoughts and beliefs in the culture that we're in, the culture of our family and the community. I live and I mountain bike with some women that, are from an affluent community. And with my perspective, I see, well, no, your 21-year-old son should not be, in the hospital for 5 days because he's biking so long. Like, that there's this, like, acceptance that's how it's going to be, or that my daughter has a stress fracture, but she's going to be a collegiate athlete, and everything's so intense, like this professional cycling, collegiate athlete, and all these women are very, very, they know enough to be fit and take care of themselves, but they don't know enough to like scale it back in like moderation. So we're going to get towards moderation. So that's a culture versus you can have a culture where, somebody got hurt or we just don't do that, or, we don't exercise. We are intellectuals. Like, we're writers. We don't do anything with our body. We're creatives. That's just my body is just something that I have to carry around with me. It's a nuisance that it needs to eat. It's a nuisance that it needs to use the toilet. It's a nuisance that it gets sore, that it doesn't want to be in this chair for that long. So we have all these kind of thoughts and beliefs, and we can go on and on and on, and you should do the individual work to identify that. And if you're not sure, this next phase of my profession is much more preventative, and I offer coaching, so integrated coaching. But if we're talking about like the content today, I offer movement coaching. So if you're just really like, I want to live healthy for life, how do I do that? I can teach you the 6 pillars of healthy movement. So, but back to the pain pendulum. So we have our body that's swinging back and forth between emotions and thoughts and belief. Emotions, thoughts, and beliefs. And emotions on one side can be like, I'm sad, I don't feel like exercising. I'm anxious, I can't decide what to do. Or I'm so anxious, I need to run 20 miles a day in order to handle my anxiety. And we live in a culture that does not, that is very limited in understanding of emotions. We know things like happy, we know sad, we know angry, and afraid. I think those are the 4 things we know. Maybe we know like embarrassed, but we're very like limited and not very nuanced. And there's lots of people doing great work. What's her name? Is it Suzanne David? Emotional agility, really great. I'll get that right and put that in the show notes or description, so you can look for that wherever you're listening to this or watching. As well as Brene Brown, think like Atlas of the Heart, a really great resource, and many, many more. And if I find some more, I'll drop those below too. And please comment, or reach out if you've got options, if you're like, well, what about this person? So emotions, we just really don't know. And we're taught to suppress them. We're taught not to cry. We're, how are you? Good. And then we just like keep going. That's like our culture. That's our society. And not only can we not maybe even intellectually know what's jealousy, what's envy, what's terror, what's rage, what is despair, what is, like all these different kind of emotions. What is it to be like expectant or giddy, or there's so many different emotions, and can we identify those in ourselves? And that can even just be on an intellectual level. Can I understand emotions? Understand. But then there's a knowing of emotions, and whoa, people are so far away from that. So I'll tell you, from all my time as a PT, people are anxious. Okay. Our society is breeding anxiety. We're so disconnected from our body. We don't know how to breathe. Everybody's breathing up in their chest, not in their belly. So I offer that to you today as a, how do I get into my body? And we're going to talk about this. So breath. Okay. But we'll come back to that. But emotions, there needs to be a knowing in our body, but we don't know that. So anyway, so we swing back and forth between the thought and belief, oh my gosh, it's the new year. So you know what I need to do? I need to set goals. I need to join the gym. I'm going to go every day. I'm going to run every day. I'm going to do that, that 10K this year. I'm going to do that marathon. Here we go. I'm going to lose all this weight, all these kind of things, right? So we have these thoughts and beliefs that then dictate behavior, and we can go really extreme with those. And that's why there's a lot of pushback on resolutions, because it doesn't really work like that, right? To just do something so intense right away. And we can talk more about that. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that too. But so thoughts and beliefs, okay? And that can dictate us, again, to do more or less. And so, but let's say, I'm going to go, I'm going to run every day. Okay, this is my goal. I'm going to run every day. It's January 1st. Let's go. And then I do that for a while, and then all of a sudden I don't, feel like doing it, right? And then, so maybe then I stop doing it, and then I decide like I should, but then I'm not, and then I feel bad about it, and then but I should, and then, but I don't, like, so we swing back and forth, and this is all happening in our head, really, right? Like, these kind of emotions when we're not aware of them, and then our thoughts and beliefs. So thoughts and beliefs, I should do more, and then emotions can get us to feeling like, like I shouldn't, or anxiety could make something like that, can drive us to, there's a lot of people that do ultra kind of things, so extreme, because they don't know how to connect their body in a slow way. They don't know how to regulate their body, and there's such good things. So from suppressed emotions, they're doing a lot. So you can have emotions that, things like depression, that do not motivate you to be active, right? Just from the emotional standpoint. And then we have, emotions that might, anger, things like that might just push us to just really extreme activities. And so we swing back and forth. And in this image, I'll show it again here on YouTube, and if you join my newsletter, I'll show that. So that's the Lyle Movement newsletter. And you can get that from my website, www.theellebotrell, or in descriptions from wherever you're listening in this. And so the body is in the middle, okay? So big takeaway here is we need moderation. So glad that you're listening. So glad that you're here. It's my goal to help you live healthy for a lifetime, and that includes movement. If you haven't subscribed to the Lyle Movement YouTube channel or newsletter, I encourage you to do so if any of what's being shared here sounds interesting, sounds valuable to you, to people you love with, people you interact with. Thanks for being here. Our body is right in the middle, and we need to listen to our body to tell us what to do. So people end up in this pendulum of pain, swinging back and forth between what their emotions tell them to do, what their thoughts and beliefs tell them to do, and not really like, what is my body telling me to do? Is my body feeling stiff? Then it actually wants to move and it wants to be stretched. Is it feeling sore from a workout? Okay, well, maybe I should take it really easy. Is it starting to feel weak? Oh, I need to do some strengthening. Am I, feeling a bit anxious? So I should do some moving. Or, am I feeling like lower energy over time? Oh, well, my body is adapting to, less activity. So I need to do more. So there's so much in our body. Our body has such an intelligence that we need to know, but we really drive our behavior between emotions and thoughts and beliefs. So that's just a brief introduction to the pain pendulum. I want to give you a few things just to check in with your body. And I would encourage you just to do a scan in your body, head to toe. And you can do this whatever position. You could do it sitting like I am right now. You could do it. I would suggest maybe preferentially because our brain isn't doing as many functions if we're laying down. So if you can lay down and do this on your back and get in a comfy position, and then just scan through and notice what your body is feeling. I'd also suggest you check out some the YouTube my YouTube channel, so the Lyle Movement YouTube channel. I'd suggest you check that out. I have some things called mindful morning mobility. What's the 3 M's there? It's there. I think there's at this point 4 or 5 different videos, and it's going to give you practical skills and this is 20-minute routines. Each one is different that I present there. You can learn some movements. You can follow along if that's helpful, if you want that structure. But you can just kind of take things and gather and do this. So you could do just a scan, not moving. You can do those morning mobility, mindful morning mobility routines to help give you information. And I'm going to let the videos do it for now. They're there. They're wonderful resources. I was really excited to share those. And honestly, they're just not being utilized enough. So this is part of me saying, hey, they're out there. This is a great resource for you. And then you can give me feedback there. You can comment on those YouTube videos, like what you're interested in, what felt good, what would be helpful in the videos to help resource you. Breath. I talk about this in the videos, but you can do hand on the chest, hand on the belly. Take a breath. Take another breath. So I'm kind of excited right now in talking to you. So my breathing transitioned a little bit up into my chest. And that is going to, when I get off of this, that's going to manifest if I just keep going. So another tip, so work on, the breathing, let's finish that. So breathing, work on getting your breath down low, your low, quiet, easy breath, low, quiet, easy breath. And you're not going to be pushing out with your belly or anything like that, but you're going to figure out how to use your diaphragm instead of these accessory muscles in your chest, okay, which add a lot of tension, a lot of stiffness up front that leads to neck pain, it leads to shoulder pain. So please, if any of this is sounding good and you're like, oh my God, I want to know more, I would love to partner with you. I would love to do an overhaul. I'd love to partner with you. We can create a program for you from movement coaching, just so you are equipped to live healthier in life. I'd really love to do that reboot with you. So breaths. One thing, and I'll share this just from as a neurodivergent person, and I'm still learning. I know a little bit more about my ADHD attributes than my autistic attributes, but that was a nice chest breath if you're watching in the video. Took a belly breath there just to help me. That belly breath changes the neurotransmitters, the hormones circulating in your body, like that, versus so breath is very powerful information for you and a way that you can change, because we can change our breathing pattern if we're aware of it. So that's how we have to get into our body. So one of the things I do to help regulate, and I identify this a lot with my ADHD attributes, is just laying down. Even as often, and I like never have done this for a full day, but the goal is like, can I do this? Because I know if I did this like 5 minutes every hour, it'd feel so different. So I try to do it regularly. Sometimes I go a little longer if I couldn't or didn't, and then I just feel this cellular reset. So I'm checking in with my body with that, and I'm also telling my body, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I'm here for you. And that's really important in thoughts and beliefs, right? People are so mean about their body, so disparaging about your body, and just think you're kind of like bullying your body. People just tell their body what to do instead of your body is you. Your emotions are you. Your thoughts and beliefs are you. Your body are you. And you can interact with all of those in a very loving, integrated way. So what we need is to stop swinging back and forth with our behavior, but we need to take information for all of those, and actually our body needs to be our biggest resource. I'll give one more position for you, and this is really helpful if you tend to grind. This is helpful if you get headaches that kind of come in a radiating pattern, like a ram's horn, or just kind of, or they might just start or hang out at the base of your neck if they're not as bad. If they get really bad, they'll come and they'll land right behind your eye, and people will think they have a migraine, but this is actually caused by behavior and can be changed. So I'd love to help you with that if that's important. Okay, so jaw pain, neck pain, headaches. If you're having any of those, or you're wearing out your teeth and your dentist is like, oh my gosh, I want you to practice this, and this, you're just going to make the sound t, 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 t. And if you're watching the video, when I make that sound, t, 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 my teeth are not touching, my mouth is a little bit open. If I'm going to make the sound, I can't like, so t, t, t. But then I can close my lips, t, t, t. And that's what my face looks like with that. There's a little bit less of this. So I'd really encourage you to watch on video if you want to see what I went to my resting kind of face. Okay. So what the does is it gives, it separates your teeth. It puts the tongue in its ideal position and helps relax the jaw. If you want to take a next level, it's and then a little wiggle of the jaw side to side. A little wiggle of the jaw side to side. Okay, I gave you much more than I planned on giving you during this episode of the Lyle podcast. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked. You can, again, comment. You can email. Please join the 3 newsletters. But particular to this information, if you're interested in this, you want to look for the Lyle Movement newsletter. Can't wait to grow that community. I can't wait to reduce suffering in the world. Please tell a friend. You can tag somebody. You can just shoot that over within an email or a text to somebody that you think would benefit from this. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe here. Thank you so much for joining the Lyle podcast. We'll see you next time. May you see the blessing. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Lyle podcast. I'm so glad you're here. If you liked what you heard, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube at the Elle, as well as on my website, www.theellebetrell.com. Of course, you can find me back here at the next episode of the Lyle podcast. There's numerous ways to support my work so I can keep helping you live your healthiest life. You can do this financially via links on my website or the show notes, by subscribing to the podcast and YouTube channels, by joining my newsletter community, aptly named the Lyle newsletter, by rating the podcast, by sharing with others, those you meet, and participating in coaching sessions. It's my passion to help you live your healthiest life. I'm so glad you're here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you're learning and the insights you're gaining from these conversations. May you always see the blessing.